Well, good evening and welcome to our 6 o'clock news on Saturday the 12th of November. And it's dark outside. It's one of those typical winter months where it all closes in very early. But at least it's been a nice sunny and dry day today. And of course, let's hope tomorrow, which is Remembrance Sunday, is also a nice and dry and warm day like today has been. So with Remembrance Sunday nearly here on November the 13th, tomorrow Weymouth Town Council plans to honour the fallen veterans and serving members of the armed forces at the Weymouth War Memorial. The traditional Remembrance Day service begins at the Cenotaph on the Esplanade at 10:58 a.m. Hosted by the Mayor of Weymouth, Councillor Anne Weaving. The service will be conducted by the Mayor's Chaplain, Honorary Alderman Reverend Brian Ellis. A cannon will be fired from the beach by the Northfort Voluntary Artillery to signal the start and end of the 2-minute silence from 11 a.m, with the Weymouth Salvation Army bugler performing the last post and reveille. In Wyke, Regis, there will be a Remembrance Sunday morning service at 9:30 a.m. at All Saints Church, with an act of remembrance within the service itself. And then the congregation will move to the Wyke War Memorial just before 11 a.m. to join with others from across the nation for the 11 a.m. act of remembrance. In Dorchester, the Remembrance Sunday service will go ahead at 10:55 at the War Memorial at the bottom of South Street. And if you're on Portland, you have 2 remembrance services tomorrow. The first will take place at 10:55 with the annual service of remembrance at the Cenotaph near to the Portland Heights Hotel. This will be preceded by a walk march from the Drill Hall on Eastern Lane, which will begin at 10:20. And following this event, there will be a memorial service at the American Memorial. This service will go ahead at 12:30 p.m. at the memorial in the Victoria Gardens. People attending Weymouth Cenotaph are pre-warned about that cannon fire on the beach, as it can be quite loud. So be warned if you're at the Weymouth Cenotaph tomorrow. Wherever you're going, you'll be made most welcome, and of course joining other people across the nation at 11 a.m. for the 2 minutes silence. Now, there are plans for a massive new solar farm, and they've been revealed this week. And many local residents, including myself, may have got a postcard through the post telling them all about it and inviting them to go along to view the plans. The plans are for a £300 million solar farm and battery storage that will cover 1,400 acres of land. That's the solar park. That's the size of 950 football pitches near to Chickerell, Weymouth, and a 57-acre battery storage site near to Weymouth Football Club. The site is so big it could supply all the local area and also be supplying electricity back into the grid. Most concerns raised so far have been about the loss of valuable agricultural farmland. Now, public information events will be held at the Willowbed Hall at Chickerell on Tuesday the 22nd of November between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. and at Portisham Village Hall on Wednesday the 23rd of November between 1 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Now, good news this week. The Dorset County Hospital's Orthotics Department has won a national award for its work to treat patients with knee osteoarthritis during the pandemic. The team won the Safe Restoration of Elective Care Services Award at this year's HSJ Patient Safety Awards in recognition of their hard work and dedication to patients' experiences and positive outcomes. At the start of the pandemic, many elective knee surgeries had to be cancelled and waiting times for patients were over a year. The team set up a clinic with around 50 patients to offer them the choice to try a knee brace to see if it helped improve their quality of life while they were waiting for their operation. Participants completed a questionnaire at the start of the trial and then again after 6 weeks and 6 months of using the brace. Participants said that their quality of life and symptoms improved, as it had helped ease the pain and allowed them to remain active. Some patients were able to reduce their use of painkillers, and in one case there was no longer a need for the surgery at all. So well done to the orthotics team at Dorset County Hospital there. Now, designer Wayne Hemingway will join Weymouth Town Council for a webinar to talk through the draft report on the seafront master plan on Monday the 14th of November. That's this coming Monday. The council is inviting residents, local businesses and visitors of Weymouth to have a say on the draft seafront master plan by joining in with the webinar. More than 2,200 people gave their views earlier in the year, which were fed into the draft report, which is available on a special website at thinkweymouthseafront.co.uk. That's thinkweymouthseafront.co.uk. Plus, you can sign up to join the webinar on Monday the 14th of November from 6 p.m. to 7:30 by registering in advance. Designer Wayne Hemingway, co-founder of Hemingway Design, who along with New Master Planning are leading the Seafront Master Plan proposal, said, "Weymouth is a great coastal resort with a great beach." The Which Review gave Weymouth 5 stars for both its beach and seafront, whilst the Rough Guide stated it's worth a visit for the fine sandy beach alone. But surveys suggest that for holidaymakers, a great beach is no longer enough. They are looking for places with authenticity, places which demonstrate their heritage, nature, culture and wider sustainability. The master plan proposals have been developed against and responding to 6 objectives, including sustainability, well-being, heritage, authenticity, connectivity and broadening appeal. Factors that are becoming increasingly important in driving seaside tourism and priorities established through public and stakeholder engagement. So that's on Monday between 6 and 7:30. It's a webinar if you want to join. If you go along to the Weymouth Town Council website, you will find no doubt the details there, or on the thinkweymouthseafront.co.uk website. Now, Dorset's towns and parishes can now apply online for a 20-mile-an-hour speed limits and zones following the introduction of a new policy by Dorset Council. Schemes will need to meet certain requirements and there should be community support. Councillor Simon Gibson, who's lead member for Highways and Dorset Council, said, "We work closely with town and parish councils, our own councillors and Dorset Police over many months to develop a policy that will work for local areas, enabling schemes that offer the maximum benefit for their communities. The new process brings a consistent approach to dealing with applications for 20-mile-an-hour speed limits or zones, with a policy that is implementable by considering national guidance, affordable, place minimum strain on council budgets and enforceable by the police as well. Over the next 12 months we will see what works and what doesn't and amend the process accordingly. Town and parish councils or local ward councillors from Dorset Council can submit an application form to begin the process. Each application will be assessed against a set of requirements and Dorset Council will fund those schemes deemed to be high priority. Town and parish councils will have the opportunity to self-fund lower priority schemes themselves. Schemes must offer the maximum benefit for the affected communities. This includes quality of life, healthier lifestyles, sustainability and environmental benefits, alongside other important considerations such as reduction of collisions. So maybe that's something that you're interested in your road or area, and certainly would be worth speaking to your local councillors about. Now, officers from Dorset Police are appealing for witnesses and anyone with dashcam footage to come forward following a serious injury road traffic collision in Weymouth. Dorset Police received a report at 7:48 a.m. on Friday the 11th of November, that's yesterday, of a collision at the Wessex roundabout on Radipole Lane involving a white Nissan van and a grey Mercedes-Benz. The occupant of the Nissan, a man aged in his 50s, was arrested on suspicion of driving offences and was also taken to hospital for treatment for injuries that were believed to be serious but not life-threatening. The occupant of the Mercedes was uninjured. Road closures were put in place and emergency services responded to the incident, and those road closures were lifted about 9 a.m. So if you were struggling to get anywhere yesterday, that's why. Anyone with information or dashcam footage is asked to contact Dorset Police. Now, staying with Dorset Police, I'll put one picture up and then I'm going to change it in a minute. Rural crime officers in the Wimborne area have recovered more than £80,000 worth of plant machinery following a report of theft in the Wimborne area. Dorset Police received a report at 8:35 on Tuesday the 8th of November relating to the theft of plant machinery and power tools that were stored in a shipping container at a rural location in Cranbourne. Following a detailed inquiries, officers located 2 vans which were also believed to have been stolen and on false plates. Inside the vans, officers located a number of items of plant machinery, including 2 ride-on mowers and a utility vehicle with a total value of £80,000. Now, if you recognise the vans or the items on screen, that's one of the vehicles that was found inside, and we'll go back to the original van. There's the original van. If you recognise either of those, or you know anything about the thefts, or of course that road traffic incident that we mentioned yesterday morning, do give Dorset Police a call, either on 101 and speaking to them direct, or by calling Crime Stoppers, the independent charity, where your call will be kept completely anonymous, on 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Now, local author David Solomons has visited 6 local schools to celebrate entries of Chesel Reading Project's Creativity Writing Competition and to reveal a new mascot designed by a local student. The National Literacy Trust and Dorset Council teamed up earlier this year to support the literacy development of Chesel pupils transitioning from Year 6 to Year 7. Research from the National Literacy Trust shows that reading enjoyment decreases significantly as children get older, with 75% of children aged 5 to 8 say they enjoy reading, compared with 45% of those aged 14 to 16. Even though children who enjoy reading do better at school and are happier with their lives. To bridge this gap, primary and secondary schools in Chesel have been delivering a project to encourage reading for enjoyment, targeted at Year 6 pupils as they move into Year 7. The project aims to use the My Brother is a Superhero books and in-person events with the author David Solomons to nurture a love of reading and writing that will last a lifetime. Local student Hector, who started at South Hill Primary School and went on to attend All Saints Church of England Academy, won the creative writing competition to design the project's mascot, and you can see that on screen. David Solomons revealed Hector's winning entry as Billy the Hamster, brought to life by professional illustrator Phil Shepherd, who features on a new special edition library card. David Solomon said one of the joys of being a children's author is being able to get involved in inspiring local literacy activities like the Chesel Reading Project, which uses the power of reading to support children in their secondary school transition. It's been an absolute honour to see my books used within the project. The students' work has been so impressive, and I can't wait to meet them all and celebrate their achievements. Well, there we go, and there's the logo that was designed. Now, young people are set to benefit from £100,000 of funds which youth organisations can apply for through Dorset Council. Dorset Council's Youth Fund provides funding for initiatives which deliver youth projects and activities within the Dorset Council area. It's a fund of £100,000 to support a range of activities for young people, and the grants can be from £500 to £5,000. Applications have to be in soon to be considered. The money can be used for equipment and staffing costs and funding projects that provide young people with opportunities to experience new activities they may not otherwise have access to. Last year, 39 projects received funding to enable young people to access positive activities. It funded activities as diverse as music, dance, water sports, skateboarding and cookery classes, alongside trips to the beach and cinema, providing young people with things to do. The Youth Fund also supported 16 youth clubs and centres to provide a safe place for young people to go to meet with friends and have a trusted adult to talk to. Finally, the Youth Fund was able to help a wide range of young people who might need some extra support. Now, the closing date is this Wednesday, the 16th of November, and more information is available on the Dorset Council website. Now, the Arts Council England has announced that Dorset charity Arts Reach will remain as a national portfolio organisation, successfully securing a further 3 years funding to support rural touring in partnership with Dorset's rural communities. Phil Gibby, who's Area Director of South West Arts Council England, said, we're pleased to be welcoming ArtsReach back into Arts Council 2023-26 National Portfolio Programme. Their fantastic calendar of cultural events reaches people across Dorset. Their programme of performance and creative workshops connects rural communities, organisations and artists to make a real difference to people's lives. Now, since 1990, ArtsReach has provided people living in rural Dorset with access to professional live performance and creative arts projects in rural venues and communities at affordable and accessible prices. Its programme is delivered in partnership with a large network of community volunteers, and together the scheme coordinates around 150 high quality professional events each year, usually in village halls and often in rurally isolated communities right across rural Dorset. Chair of Trustees Patricia Pryor said, "We're delighted that ArtsReach continues to be included in the ACE National Portfolio. This is recognition of the important role ArtsReach plays in our rural communities and testament to the hard work of our network of promoters. Congratulations." Now, we often cover the ArtsReach stuff on this programme, and literally there is stuff going on every week, and it is amazing the amount of different types of things that they put on across the whole of Dorset. And I've often said it's worth looking to see what's on. And yes, it might be out in the middle of rural Dorset somewhere, but it gives you the opportunity not only to go to an event that you might not get the opportunity to go to, but it will take you out and discover some of the county that you actually live in. Now, you have got just a few weeks to have your say on the future of Dorset Council's libraries before their latest consultation closes. Residents who borrow books, use library rooms, sing during rhyme time, and those who are not familiar with Dorset Council's library services only have a few weeks left to shape their future. There have been many significant changes to public behaviour and technology since the Council last looked at the library strategy over 10 years ago. And this was most prominent during the pandemic, when libraries needed to adapt quickly to continue to provide highly valued services, albeit in a different way. With many events being held online, they racked up an impressive number of views, more than 112,000. The online survey seeks views on the new aim for the service and how they will be achieved. This includes questions on suggested opening hours, digital access, supporting learning and providing space for enterprise and community spaces. Now, in the second phase of the consultation, communities are being asked for their views on the draft strategy to help prioritise and explore what the library service could look like in their community. Support is also available via the customer services team, where an officer can help you fill in the survey over the phone. So if you haven't got online access, you can ring up Dorset Council on 01305 221 000, and somebody on the phone will ask you the questions and record your views. Or if you'd like a paper copy, you can pop in and access them in any of the local libraries. Goodness, lots in the news tonight. Now, it's World Diabetes Day on Monday, and people who live with long-term health conditions such as diabetes are at greater risk from developing anxiety and depression. Living with a physical condition can affect our mental well-being, and when our mood is low, we can start to adopt unhelpful habits for managing our physical health. Dorset Healthcare are reminding people with long-term health conditions that they have steps to wellbeing available. It's a free NHS mental wellbeing service run by Dorset Healthcare that offers a dedicated body and mind service to help people with long-term health conditions like diabetes manage their emotional wellbeing. Vanessa Ballard, who's the body and mind lead at Steps to Wellbeing, said living with diabetes can be really challenging. There's so much to think about with self-management of your diabetes. It's understandable that you might feel worried, stressed or down at times. Our body and mind team can help you to understand how your diabetes affects your mental health, but also how feeling down or worried can impact on how you manage your condition. Steps to Wellbeing offers a variety of approaches to improve how you feel, to enable you to take better care of yourself. One Steps to Wellbeing patient said, "It's been useful to talk about things that specifically affect me with my diabetes. I've found that the techniques are applicable to my lifestyle, and it has helped to reduce the impact on myself and others around me the stress that diabetes can cause. Now, you can access Step to Wellbeing as body and mind service without going to your GP. You can self-refer and you can do it quickly and confidentially online at www.steps2wellbeing.co.uk. So that's www.steps2wellbeing.co.uk. So you can self-refer. You don't need to go to your GP. It means you can just book yourself on to go and see somebody and get some help. Now, and finally in our headlines tonight, it's time to get your glad rags on. Get yourselves down to Weymouth's own glorious Seafront Theatre and prepare to be wowed. Shake your booty and jangle those bangles at the wonderful Something for Everyone special show, jam-packed with fabulous hits from the musicals, brought to you by WOW, the youth musical theatre group that is celebrating 40 years in show business. Now it's featuring songs from Broadway and West End smashes such as We Will Rock You, 9 to 5, Mary Poppins, Chicago, Cabaret, Hamilton, Footloose and more. The 40-year anniversary WOW show is a celebration of musical theatre, but also of the talent, energy and passion of its young cast, all of whom are looking forward to singing and dancing their hearts out for you, nurtured and encouraged by the award-winning direction and choreography of Martine Burt. Now, performances will be 7 p.m. nightly from the 17th to the 19th of November, with a matinee on the Saturday at 2 p.m. and tickets are available from the Pavilion box office, and we strongly encourage you to buy tickets in advance and to support this group of amazing new talent. We in turn promise you a night to remember filled with singing sensations accompanied by high-end dance routines that are all sure to wow you. Well, there you go, that's WOW. And we'll mention that again in our What's On at the end of the programme. Now that's the end of our headlines tonight. Now, we've previously covered the Great Western Railway's Poppies to Paddington operation on Remembrance Day. And this year is the third time that they've done this. And this year they're focusing particularly and paying special tribute particularly to the Falklands conflict. Now, Sarah Jones CBE, whose widow of Falklands hero Lieutenant Colonel Herbert H. Jones at VC, laid a wreath at Paddington's iconic war memorial on Platform 1 as GWR continued to mark its 40 years since the Falklands War. Hundreds of wreaths were taken to the capital by trains yesterday as GWR again joined forces with the Veterans Charity to coordinate its Poppies to Paddington operation. Lieutenant Colonel Jones VC was killed charging at an Argentinian position during the battle on Goose Green on May the 28th, 1982. The battle was seen as a pivotal moment in the fight to liberate the islands following the Argentinian invasion. One of 255 British military personnel who lost their lives during the conflict, the commanding officer of 2nd Battalion Parachute Regiment was awarded the Victoria Cross, the highest and most prestigious award of the British honour system for his actions. In June, GWR unveiled a special Falklands 40 livery on one of its Class 255 castle sets. Power Car 43040 was chosen to mark the 40th anniversary, while Class 255 recognises the number of lives lost. Now, the Business Assurance Director from GWR, Joe Graham, said, "In the summer we were proud to pay our own tribute to the courageous men and women who joined the military task force and helped liberate the Falkland Islands in 1982. Now our third Poppies to Paddington operation gives us an opportunity to not only honour the bravery of all those who took part in the conflict, but the sacrifices of all those members of the armed forces who have died in the line of duty." Poppies to Paddington was conceived in 2020 to ensure communities within the GWR network could honour our fallen heroes despite the restrictions in place around COVID-19. So let's spend a few minutes now and look at what happened yesterday on GWR's third Poppies to Paddington.
And those of you with, especially those of Great Western Railway.
40 years on since the conflict in the Falklands, and when 255 of our servicemen died sadly, and here today we have some of their veterans who've attended, and it's wonderful to see them. I've talked to some of them, and it brings back so many memories. Well, as I think I said, it's we're drawing to the end of the 40th anniversary of the Falklands. The year is finishing, and it's just this, I feel, is a wonderful tribute to see how the public pay tribute to all our servicemen who died over the years. So for me, it was very moving. I must say, I felt quite sort of emotional.
There you go, that's Poppies to Paddington, Great Western Railway's way of marking Remembrance Day in a different way from across the whole region there. And thank you very much to GWR and Head of PR Dan Paynes for providing that video and for permission to use it this evening. We do appreciate that. Now, with the Remembrance theme this week and thinking of services, of the services and history, we're going to bring you something now from Dorset Museum. On the 25th of September 1940, Squadron 152, based at RAF Warnwall, were scrambled to intercept an attack of German Luftwaffe bound for Bristol. Amongst 152 Squadron was Sergeant Kenneth Christopher Holland, an Australian pilot. Holland's Spitfire was shot down in combat over Wolverton, Somerset. The windshield and microphone from the Spitfire he was flying, N3173, were recovered from the crash site, along with a pair of goggles. Aged just 20, Holland was the youngest Australian to die in the Battle of Britain. Now we're going to hear now from Collections Manager from Dorset Museum, Kat Broomfield, about these artefacts.
Some of the most powerful objects in the museum for me are in the People's Dorset Gallery, and these objects are a collection of 3 things, which is a Spitfire windshield, microphone and a set of goggles. These were recovered from the crash site of a Spitfire which was shot down during the Battle of Britain over Somerset. In what would be the final flight for Spitfire N3173 and its pilot Sergeant Ken Holland, the Spitfire took off from RAF Warnwell on the 25th of September 1940. 152 Squadron had been called up to intercept a Luftwaffe attack, which was heading for Bristol. There were over 100 planes, and they were scrambled to try and intercept that and prevent an attack. Sergeant Holland shot down a German bomber, but unfortunately, as the plane was spiralling to the ground, the rear gunner returned fire, and a fatal shot penetrated the windshield, which you can see in the top corner. This glass is 25 millimeters thick, but the shot went through, and unfortunately, Ken Holland lost his life almost instantly. The two planes plummeted to the ground, and the wreckage was strewn over Church Farm in Wolverton, which is East Somerset, and it's about 4 miles from Frome. So these objects for me elicit a deep sorrow for the young lives that were lost, the 544 pilots in the Battle of Britain who did not come back. Ken Holland was the youngest Australian to die in the Battle of Britain. He was 20 years old. And this makes you realise that these pilots came from all corners of the globe to help the war effort. These objects are incredibly significant and incredibly moving because these represent the final flight made by Sergeant Ken Holland, and the final moments that he lived, he will have been looking through this windshield and through these goggles, and that is an incredibly powerful thing.
Well, there you go. Interesting piece there from Dorset Museum, and thank you to Kat, Dorset Museum, and Hannah Eastwood, who filmed this piece. And I was speaking to a friend of mine just last week, who'd recently visited the Dorset Museum and had not been there for several years, and he was saying how wonderful a place it is after the massive refurbishment and rearrangement of everything at Dorset Museum. So if you haven't visited, it's a brilliant place to go, and we're really lucky to have such a good museum on our doorstep here in South Dorset. Now it's that time in the programme where we go over to Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This weekend, the 30th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, releases in cinemas after former lead star Chadwick Boseman passed away in 2020. The film features the nation of Wakanda in grief after the death of their king T'Challa, and their leaders fighting to protect the country from invading forces and a new threat in the form of the undersea nation of Talokan, ruled by Namor, whose people revere him as a god. The film features a returning cast including Letitia Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, Danai Gurira, Martin Freeman and Angela Bassett. The film has received positive reviews from critics that label it an emotional tribute and triumph to the MCU. The film is in cinemas this weekend courtesy of Disney, with everyone hoping that it does Chadwick proud. Last week, Enola Holmes 2 released on Netflix as a sequel to their 2020 film starring Stranger Things' Millie Bobby Brown as the titular heroine and little sister of Henry Cavill's Sherlock Holmes. In this film, Enola struggles to set herself up as a detective in the sexist environment of Victorian London when she takes on the case of a missing girl, only to be forced to team up with her brother Sherlock when her case connects to a web of government conspiracy. The film has received positive reviews from critics and generated millions of hours watched in both this film and the original. Now, I checked out this film and found that it drowns in its social commentary, and David Thewlis's very presence in this film is baffling, but I enjoyed Henry Cavill and Millie Bobby Brown's performances with this film, proving that Millie Bobby Brown's career has legs after Stranger Things. I give this film 3.5 stars out of 5. Last weekend was the Western limited theatrical release of the anime film One Piece film Red, the latest film in the One Piece franchise. For those who don't know, One Piece revolves around Monkey D. Luffy, a young man with the ability to stretch his rubber-like body as he sets off to sea with the dream of obtaining the mythical treasure, the One Piece, and becoming the king of the pirates as he travels the seas as the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, recruiting 9 other pirates to his crew. In this film, the Straw Hat Pirates arrive on Elegia, an island country known for music, to see the live concert debut of Uta, a virtual singer and Luffy's childhood friend. But when forces from across the world make moves to acquire Uta, the Straw Hats are forced to team up with allies and enemies to fight their biggest battle yet, with the fate of humanity at stake. So I managed to get the opportunity to check it out in subbed on the big screen during its limited theatrical window, and I loved every minute of it. And the visuals and music really elevated the film into something really incredible, and the cast were top notch as per usual, but lead actress Mayumi Tanaka really stole the show in this theatrical outing. I gave this film 5 stars out of 5, and it rocketed right up to the top of my best films in 2022 list. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will review the home video release of Jordan Peele's latest movie, Nope. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much there, Andrew. And Andrew will be back with us next week. And it's now that time in the programme where we go over to the Met Office for the national weather forecast for Saturday into Sunday. And this week we are joined by Alex Burkill.
Hello, very good afternoon to you and welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office. It's going to stay exceptionally mild as we go through the rest of the weekend, but mostly dry. That's because the only front we have across the UK at the moment is this warm front over Scotland. To the south of that, we're then dragging in warm air. As a result, temperatures staying so high above average for the time of year. Take a closer look, and as we go through Saturday afternoon, yes, there'll be some cloud and rain across parts of Scotland because of that front I mentioned earlier, but that's all clearing away northwards. Elsewhere and across the bulk of the UK, it's actually going to be largely dry, with some sunshine too. And in the sunshine, it's going to feel quite mild or warm at times. That's because temperatures staying above average for the time of year, highs of 17, 18, perhaps even 19 Celsius for some. As we go through the end of the day on Saturday, and it's going to stay mostly dry for the vast majority, the rain across Scotland clearing away. There will be some clear skies, and as a result, we are likely to see some mist and fog forming, particularly towards eastern and southeastern parts of England. This could be a little bit dense, so do take care if you're taking to the roads first thing on Sunday morning. Now, it is going to be a little bit fresher than some recent nights, with some places dipping into single figures, but that's still well above average for the time of year. As we go through Remembrance Sunday then, it is going to be a bit murky, a bit foggy for some, particularly in the east. Some of that fog lingering across parts of southeast Scotland and northeast England as we go through the morning. Elsewhere though, it is going to be largely dry, again with a decent amount of sunshine. The exception being across parts of Northern Ireland. Here, it is going to turn cloudy, windy and wet as some rain starts to push in from the west. Temperatures on Sunday are going to be similar to Saturday really, so high teens for many, could even get 19, perhaps even 20 Celsius for some, so exceptionally mild for the time of year. As we go through the end of the day on Sunday, that wet weather in the far west is going to continue to edge a little bit further eastwards, and I am expecting some heavy rain across parts of Northern Ireland as we go through the end of the day. So do take care if you're taking to the roads here as we go through Sunday evening. Elsewhere, and it's largely dry, again some clear skies will lead to some fog first thing on Monday morning. Otherwise, and as we go through the new working week, some further unsettled weather set to arrive, particularly on Tuesday. This rain does look like it could be quite heavy and impactful with some strong winds to go with it. But notice the change in where our air is coming from. As we head towards the end of the week, the air will be coming more from the northwest. As a result, we are going to see temperatures dropping closer to average for the time of year. There's more information on the full forecast, including that drop in temperatures, on both the Met Office website, our app, and of course our social media channels. I'll see you later.
Thank you very much, Alex, for the national weather forecast. And looking at the weather in the locality for the rest of the weekend and the week ahead, Sunday looks to be a nice day. No sign of rain, no sign of cloud. But the week goes back to what we've been used to, cloudy, rain showers and sunny spells. with the temperature dropping slightly following the national trend, as Alex mentioned in the national weather forecast. But still not really the temperatures we would normally be expecting towards the middle and moving towards the end of November. Quite mild. But there we go, we mustn't moan. It's better to be mild than frozen outside. Now, looking at our What's On, what have we got coming up? Well, we mentioned the WOW 40th anniversary show. That's the 17th to the 19th of November at Weymouth Pavilion. On the 26th, we've got Queen Rhapsody. 27th, Magic of Motown. 30th, tribute to Hans Zimmer and John Williams. The Lions Club show on the 22nd of November and on the 10th of December through to the 2nd of January, the Christmas pantomime Sleeping Beauty. Now, tickets for all of those are available online at weymouthpavilion.com or via the box office on 01305 783 225. Now, turning to the Know the Fort, on the 19th and 20th of November, they've got Classified Bunker Unmasked, a Cold War weekend revealing the untold story of the Know Fort's Cold War bunker through an immersive guided tour. The Know Fort invites you to explore Weymouth's hidden secret and offers a captivating insight into the turbulent circumstances ordinary civilians and those working and living in the bunker found themselves in by two experiences running parallel to one another. Utilising experts, archival material and interactive immersive experience to explore the reality of living in Weymouth during the unpredictable threat of nuclear war. The tours will take place every 30 minutes and will take approximately 45 minutes, and that's going to be on the 19th and 20th of November. Now, on the 26th of November and 27th of November, the Mischievous Elves are back at the fort for ultimate game of hide and seek, and I think they're there every weekend through to Christmas. And on the 3rd of December, Weymouth Steampunk Christmas is back at the Know Fort. Join the Ministry of Steampunk for yet another year of steampunk festivities at the Know Fort. You'll find a number of exhibits, a steampunk market, fort tours, Yuletide songs and much more. Now, in Wyke itself, Saturday the 3rd of December, 7:30 in Wyke Memorial Hall, we have got the concert before the fair. The following day, the 4th of December, is Wyke Christmas Street Fair from midday through to 5 o'clock. The concert before the fair is with the Portland Coves, and now tickets for that are available online at www.parishofwykeregis.org.uk/events. Getting closer to Christmas, on the 16th of December, Friday the 16th of December, there is a Christmas concert from Weymouth Concert Brass in All Saints Church, and on Sunday the 18th at 6 p.m. is the annual Christmas carol service at the church. Arts Reach coming up this Friday the 18th at St Andrew's Church, Yetminster. It's an opera gala evening by Opera Holloway. If you want tickets for that, it's on www.artsreach.co.uk, where you can see all their other events coming up. Looking at church services tomorrow in Wyke Regis, there is the 8 o'clock at All Saints Church. The 9:30 at All Saints Church is a special Remembrance Sunday service with an act of remembrance in the church itself, and then the church membership joins together with the wider people of Wyke Regis at the War Memorial, the Wyke Regis War Memorial, at 11 o'clock for the National Act of Remembrance. There's also a service at St Edmunds at 11 a.m. tomorrow as well. Of course, our other programmes, we've got our quiz tonight at 7:30. Everyone's welcome to join us there, and the feed will go live about 7:15, 7:20 to give people time to get settled and make sure they're in the right place. Now, turning to traffic and travel, there's been a fresh wave of rail strikes planned by different sets of unions, some from the 19th to the 21st by one set of unions, and on Saturday the 26th of November by another rail union. So it looks therefore that we're going to have ongoing disruption through to the end of the month. The best advice from the rail operators is to think ahead, check the information if you plan to travel by train, and again check on the day of travel to make sure nothing has changed. On top of that, there is a weekend bus replacement service this weekend between Southampton Central and Basingstoke for engineering works, and also in the Westbury area. Major roadworks this coming week, that's those where there's traffic control or expected to be disruption. Studland Way, Kimmeridge Close, Marina Gardens, Ison Lane, Nottington Lane and the Chaffees Avenue, the Rise area of South Hill. And of course tomorrow there'll be road closures on Weymouth Esplanade for the Remembrance Service between William Street and King Street. That will be closed to traffic from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Closure of the Esplanade between King Street and King Statue will also be in place between 12 p.m. and 12:30 p.m. and diversions will be in operation until the services and parade have ended. Melcombe Regis Park Street and Swannery car parks will be offering free parking for people attending the Remembrance Day commemorations, thanks to Dorset Council. Now, there we go. That brings us to the end of another programme, another Saturday evening news programme. Of course, we will be back next Saturday. If you've got any news or events for us, any events that are happening in the run-up to Christmas, any fundraising activities or anything else you'd like to share with us, do drop us a line at news@wykeregis.tv. We'd be very pleased to hear from you. That's all I've got for you this week. I look forward to being back with you 6 o'clock next Saturday. Hope you have a good weekend and a good week ahead. Good night.